Sixers over there, those idiotic analysts and reporters are giving excuses left and right for their team.
Yep.
You got swept. Your team sucks. You got one guy who could be a cripple and be in a wheelchair. You got another one who's 36 and can only play one quarter. You got a rookie who can't keep his trap shut. You got Maxey who tries to be a leader, but he's got no help. You have no bench, and you got a Quentin Grimes guy off the bench who used to be a Knick, who we all know all he can do is shoot threes, and you got to pray to the Lord that he can make them. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys stop making excuses. It's ridiculous. Everywhere you turn, they got an excuse for their team.
Josh Hart saying, I don't even think this is a sports town anymore. Oh, that made my day.
So I don't know, Dom, if you have anything else to say. I'll just have one question, and for people listening to this, you can leave your answers in the comments. Is there anything else, Dom, you have to say before I ask this question?
All good.
Who would you want the Knicks to play? Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons next round?
In the next round, I would rather play.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the FTB podcast. I'm your host, Chris Ngulik. Alongside my co-host, Tom Savino, we will be discussing the week that was. The Jets got the job done, the Mets need to sell, and the Yankees just got swept. But with all that being said, the most important thing of all happened yesterday evening. The Knicks are moving on, and man, do they look good. Just one question for you. Who would you rather face, the Cleveland Cavaliers or the Detroit Pistons? We will be answering that tantalizing topic in a bit. But first, do me a favor, take a seat.
Let's talk.
Oh, this espresso's good.
Love
Real
espresso.
good. Anyway, yeah, Dom's got his coffee ready to go. I don't know. We're both quite tired from the long weekend. Dom had a wedding. I went out to dinner for my godmother / aunt's birthday. Happy belated birthday to her. Saturday night. And then yesterday, of course, was Mother's Day. And what a Mother's Day it was. I mean, what a game. Really put me in just a splendid, fantastic move. And my mood was just through the roof. So that was nice. Fantastic move doesn't make any sense. What I tried to say was fantastic mood. Yeah, that just tells you how much coffee I need right now. But anyway, Dom, you went to a wedding. Kick it off, pal. How was that?
Yeah, it was great. Congratulations, Bree and Vin. Awesome wedding in New Jersey. Very fun time. Always good to see people that you don't really see that much throughout the year. And that's like wedding number 4 for me this year already.
Wow.
Fun.
Wow.
I think I have one more. That's it. I have one more, but hey, they're pretty fun. They're pretty fun. I can't lie. They're a good time.
Yeah, I don't know them, never met them, but congrats to Bree and Vin. But I'm sure it was a great time. Hopefully the food was good. Well, keeping the intro short, we're chasing a short episode today. We're not looking to go too long. The order, again, shouldn't be a surprise. NBA, MLB, NFL. Of course, we're going to kick it off with the NBA. And this series, I mean, maybe aside from the first half, maybe the first 3 quarters of game 2, besides that, this series was over before it even started. Knicks swept the Sixers. 3rd time in franchise history they have swept a team in a 7-game series. They did it in 1969. They did it in 1999, 30 years later. And now they did it here, 2026 playoffs against the Sixers. The last time the Knicks were up 3-0, I remember, was the first round of the 2013 season with Carmelo Anthony. That ended up going 6 games. I remember game 4, they lost in overtime. And then they lost the next game. And then, honestly, game 6, I remember I don't know how I remember this so well. I think the final score of that one was 88-80, and like the Celtics were making a comeback. I was like, What is going on here?" But that was 2013, 13 years ago. But yeah, the Knicks take care of business against the Sixers. I mean, quite laughable. 3 out of the 4 games. Game one, Knicks won 138-97. Game two, they won 108-102. Go figure, the closest game was the one Joel Embiid didn't play. So, put that all together, Sixers fans, and really, maybe think about that before the season starts next year for you. Knicks win game three, 108-94. Embiid came back, lost by double digits again. And then yesterday was a laugher. That, I mean, you want to talk about the epitome, excuse me, hold on. The epitome of, I just can't speak today. Maybe I'll let you take the reins today, Dom. This is bad. Knicks win game four, and it was an absolute laugher. Talk about just the game was over literally before it started, thanks to Deuce McBride, who we'll get into in a bit, who shut my fat trap up yesterday, and I was just crapping on him the whole week. To Dom, to everybody who cares about basketball. But Dom, I'm going to let you go first. Knicks looked great in that series, and let's just hope they can carry it over to the next round against whoever they play.
Before I talk about the series, first I gotta talk about the Philly fans. Philadelphia, you deserve it. You deserve every second of this. When it comes to my Giants going against the Eagles, you guys crushed us in that playoff game a couple of years ago, and now crickets when we beat you guys last year. That's number one. I mean, I'm a Yankee fan, as everyone knows, but for the Mets and the Phillies with that crazy rivalry, I'm sure you talk a lot of shit with them. You deserve it. And you guys seem to you thought, oh, Joel Embiid's in this series. Paul George is on a heater. Look at Edgecombe. He wasn't there last series when we played you guys. This should be closer than people think. Nope, nothing. And you guys, I think, in my opinion, you guys are the worst fans in all of sports. So you deserve every second of it, and I do not feel bad for you one bit. Good riddance. Good riddance. Now on to the series. I hate to say I told you so to Chris and to everyone, but I told you so. Mikal Bridges came to play. I'm getting right to it. He came to play, and this is why I'm not worried. If you guys even remember the Celtics series from last year, you guys should have known from the first place that this wasn't a big deal. And also, this could be a debate or not. Would Mikal Bridges have played this good if OG was on the court? Maybe. Maybe
Hmm.
not.
Hmm.
No idea. But we've seen this from Mikal before for a whole year when he was playing on the Nets. So I don't think this should be a surprise to anyone. And people have thought that, his defenses fell off a bit coming from Phoenix and to Brooklyn and then to the Knicks. But it's hard to do both, like I've been saying all year when it comes to basketball. It's hard to be a two-way player in this league. And he had to be the main scorer in Brooklyn. So when he came here and then he was expected to play a lot of defense, I'm sure there was a dynamic where he was like, oh, wow, like I got to be back to my old self, my old Phoenix ways. So, you know, horrible regular season last year. Playoffs came around, did his thing. And same thing as this year. I did not lose one faith of confidence, but he was making me look bad during the regular season. And
Yeah.
Chris let me know, and I deserved it. But as I've said, I stayed strong. I wasn't worried about him. And now look what happened. But let's see what happens when OG gets back. I'm sure his numbers will go down, but we still got to hope that he plays great defense because
Hmm.
that's exactly what he did in this series. When OG was gone, he was running around all over the place. Deuce McBride also was helping the void of OG with his defense. Even Landry Shamet. Look at Landry Shamet running around playing defense. And with Chris, when he said last week that Landry Shamet's going to be a big part of this series, he was absolutely right. It's a make or miss league, and look what happened yesterday. This is a recording on a Monday, so Mother's Day on Sunday. Look what happened. They shot 57% from 30, but it felt like 87% from 3.
Mhm.
It was cool to see Jordan Clarkson drive to the hoop and get a lot of assists, just kicking it back out to whoever's open in the corner. Um, Deuce McBride, you didn't know where he was going. Of course, he was going to shoot the ball, but he could drive too and kick it out. Um, I know this is garbage minutes, but I know me and Chris were talking on FaceTime. It just felt so nice to see Tyler Kolek run an offense. It was awesome. Jalen Brunson, what do you have to say about Jalen Brunson? Clutch, clutch, clutch. I hate to say it, but not surprised.
Mhm.
Everything just clicked. Everything just clicked, and something happened after that game 3, in that locker room. When it came to Mike Brown, someone had to tell him something, or he finally got it all together and made this offense the best it's ever looked.
Mhm.
With basically Cat running quarterback. He's basically playing the quarterback position, and it works. Maybe they hid it from us during the regular season. Maybe not. Maybe it took a long time for Mike Brown to realize, hey, this is what I need to do, or whatever the front office or coaches had thought. But everything clicked. But then you're thinking to yourself, how did the Celtics lose to them? Like, you know, I mean, Joel Embiid was still aching, not 100%. Paul George just, I don't know, those steroids helped him. Whatever the hell he took, God only knows what drug he did take. Definitely helped him. Edgecombe having fresh feet. Um, Even Quentin Grimes off the bench. He can make some threes and play some defense, as Knicks fans know. But I don't think anyone thought that we were going to kill him like this. Not even us as Knicks fans.
No.
We said 6.
Yeah.
We didn't think 4.
No.
I don't think
No.
anyone in New York thought 4 games.
No.
Everyone,
Obviously the raving lunatic fans, those Knicks fans probably, but
yeah, we,
realistic ones, you were gonna go with 5, at least 5, definitely 6.
uh-huh. It feels too good to be true to you know, just completely sweep them, and we got to give them a gentleman's sweep instead. Usually
Mhm.
that's how it does go in the NBA, but
Mhm.
you couldn't believe it. And if Deuce is playing like this, like how much better our team is when Deuce is playing like that.
Mhm.
But like I said, though, it is a make or miss league. But next series, whoever we play, if it's the Cavs or the Pistons, it's going to be a way harder series. And both those teams match up better against us than the 76ers, or even if we play the Celtics.
Mhm. Yeah, it's interesting. People were even questioning, would the Knicks blow out the Celtics too if it was Boston and not Philadelphia? I could tell you
I
it
don't
would
think
have
so.
been a little bit of I would say it would have been a little bit of a harder series because you're not really dealing with anybody who has injury issues and can't defend like a Joel Embiid. So I think it would have been a little harder. Vucevic is up there in age, but I think he can, defend a lot better than Joel Embiid. I mean, listen, we'll never know. I frankly don't care. It's never happened, so I don't even have to think about it. What I will say is, and I'll say this now before I get into some of the things I wrote down here. Dom, you have to understand when it comes to what Mike Brown has cultured with this team throughout the regular season and what he decided to do and implement after they lost games 2 and 3 against Atlanta. Folks, in the regular season, yes, maybe some games where you're playing good teams and you lose. Yeah, it's tough to take. You're like, "Oh, we coulda won that game." There are some things that the team needs to fix, but you gotta understand, more than half the time, the next game is against some shitty, crappy team, and you just bounce back, and you move on from it, and you flush it, because that's what you have to do in baseball. It's what you gotta do in every sport, and, especially baseball because you play every day. But basketball and hockey are the next 2 sports that you play, like, every other day, right? It's the closest schedule next to baseball. But in the playoffs, when you're facing the same team every other day or every 2 days, it's not the San Antonio Spurs and then the Brooklyn Nets, you're playing the same team every other day. Yeah, your back's against the wall, and now you're forced to really sit down with your staff and say, what the hell do we got to do to fix this? Because my job's on the line. The fans are losing their minds. They're going to totally disown me once, we get bounced in the first round and we're eliminated. So, because this isn't the regular season where you're going from a really good team to a really shitty team, and you're playing the same good team every other day, it forces you to get creative and think of ways to win basketball games and to keep yourself alive and then ultimately win the series. Mike Brown, if this keeps up and they could sustain this kind of defense, this kind of offense, Mike Brown's decision to make Karl Anthony Towns the head of the snake on offense, at least in terms of running the offense, this could go down historically as the best decision in Mike Brown's career. And Mike Brown's got some rings. He's got 4 rings and he's been to 6 finals.
Yep.
And it says a lot if this guy goes down as one of the best Knicks coaches that they've ever had because of the one decision to make Karl Anthony Towns a passer more than a scorer. Because we look at Karl Anthony Towns, he's 7 foot tall. He can shoot it behind the arc. He's historically, if not one of the best 3-point shooting centers in NBA history. And this guy now is becoming a passing point guard at the top of the key. He's now more in the backcourt than the front court. And the Sixers had no answer for him. They're like, well, we don't know if this guy's going to shoot or if he's going to pass. Andre Drummond was guarding him. You remember this play, Dom? Andre Drummond's guarding him. Cat's looking to pass it. He's going all around the court. And then the next thing you know, he still has the ball. And now he looks in front of him, and there's nobody in front of him, so he takes the mid-range shot. Because everyone's worried that he's going to be passing it to somebody who's open, but he got himself open because he never gave up the ball. It was honestly pretty funny. There are some moments in this game yesterday that were pretty laughable. So if they continue with what they've been doing for offense and defense and having Cat run the offense a lot more than Jalen Brunson, this will easily go down in Knicks history as the best decision a single Knicks coach has ever made in a playoff run. It's not even a question, because right now what we see on offense with Cat running all of the plays and just holding the ball, waiting for backdoor cuts, brush screens, like what we talked about last week. I mean, easily it's got to go down as the best decision a single Knicks coach has ever made. So that I wanted to say. I mean, Game 4 clincher was historic. 25 threes made, 43 points in the first quarter, 11 made threes in the first. And the Knicks did all this without OG Anunoby. And I'm going to be honest, towards the end of the game, Dom, I mean, I sat there and I totally forgot. It hit me when the buzzer sounded. I was like, holy crap. OG didn't even play in this game. I was like, they scored 144 points, the most points they've ever scored in a playoff game. And OG Anunoby, who you could argue next to Jalen Brunson, and in some games he was the best scorer on the Knicks team, he wasn't even playing. That just tells you right then and there what this Knicks offense is right now. And they are number 2 in defensive rating in the playoffs, and they're number 1 in offensive rating. Dom, if you told me 2 months ago the Knicks would be number 1 in offensive rating in the playoffs and number 2 in defensive rating in the playoffs and sweep the Sixers 4-0, score 144 points, and win over 10 points the last 2 games without OG Anunoby, I would have been like, dude, you should go get a Powerball ticket.
If you told me that 2 weeks ago, I would have been
True.
like, what the
Yes. Fair. Yes. And that's what everyone's been saying. You listen to MSG Network with the post game. That's exactly what Bill Pito, Alan Holland, Wallace Zerbiak were saying. They were like, 2 weeks ago, we would have never thought this is the team that we're watching. Because 2 weeks ago, they didn't know what the hell to expect. And don't forget, too, folks, and I know people have been saying it, How in the world did Karl Anthony Towns go from I don't know what my role is on the team to now he knows exactly what his role is? Folks, it's very simple. When your back's against the wall, you're now forced to get extremely creative, and you have no choice but to figure it out on the fly because you're down 2-1, and now you're forced to win what? That's 3 games. You're forced to win 3 of the next 4 games. That's hard to do. It's not easy in the NBA. And I know everyone's saying, well, the Sixers aren't the Hawks aren't the Sixers. Sixers series is going to be harder. Listen, it's still an NBA team in my eyes. So say what you want. It's still an NBA team. And let's not forget, once again, for a 20-game stretch towards the end of the season, the Hawks were 18-2. So you want to keep on saying the Hawks suck? I don't know, man. They were doing something right because they were 18-2. So
The the series against the Hawks, it reminded me of the Lakers versus the Denver Nuggets in 2020 in the bubble
hmm,
when they just had so much size. You know, obviously, he's not a center, but obviously LeBron is a tall person. They had
hmm,
JaVale McGee and they had Dwight Howard going up against Jokic and a skinny Michael Porter Jr. And I remember saying to myself that whole series, put Bol on the fucking court. They need size, and for some reason, they didn't believe in him enough.
hmm,
Then they barely played him throughout his entire Nuggets career that he had for just a few years. That's what that series reminded me of,
hmm,
the Knicks versus the Hawks. But then we're
hmm.
talking about Cat when it comes to, oh my God, I can't believe this is how Cat has been in this playoffs. We could even say the same thing about OG Anunoby.
Hmm.
I wasn't, I don't know about you, Chris, but I wasn't expecting this from him, even though that we did sign him for $212 million. And, he had very few flashes, not a lot during this regular season of
I
of the him of him playing like this. And,
mm,
but the system is made not just for Cat, but it's helping OG. It's helping Mikhail. It's helping Jalen
mhm,
Brunson. It's helping
mhm.
the whole team out.
Well, that's the thing, right? I knew OG was going to be a great scorer in terms of 3-point shooting, maybe some mid range, but I did not expect him to improve his driving ability to
Me
the
neither.
rim this fast. That I didn't expect. That I was like, that's going to take an off season. He's going to have to put some work in it, maybe even in preseason, maybe the first month or two up until maybe Christmas next year. I mean, all of a sudden, the guy stepped on the court game 1 against the Hawks, and this guy's like just bulldozing it to the rim and not really losing the ball. And I was like, see, that's a turnover in the regular season. So I was shocked that he had so much improvement driving to the rim. That I could not believe. But in terms of scoring mid range and 3-point shooting, and then, of course, his defense, no, none of that surprised me. That all of that was high functioning offensive power for OG Anunoby. No, that definitely did not surprise me. No.
Nick Nurse said the exact same thing you did. When he was
Mm
talking about OG Anunoby during the series when he was playing, he said, "When I was with him, he was just so fascinated with shooting,
hmm. Mm hmm.
and he was a good shooter, and then he got even into a better shooter, and then found out how to drive, and he's gotten better every single year, and that's what Nick Nurse said.
Right.
So it even amazes his former coach of how
Mm
good he's
hmm.
playing. So,
For sure. Yeah.
but hey,
Um,
this is what we signed you for.
yeah. I mean, the defense we already knew we were getting with that, but it was the offensive ability that we were hoping he would develop, and he's done more than develop. I mean, he's looked like an absolute star. Uh, so glad that he's gotten rest and he's going to get more of it. Me and Dom were talking. We'll just say it now. The earliest that the ECF round is going to be starting is Sunday. Now, the Cavs and Pistons play tonight at 8 o'clock. Of course, this episode's going to be out tomorrow evening. So the game is going to be coming and going. I'm expecting the Cavs to tie it because from what I watched on Saturday, I think the Cavs have the ability to tie that series. Of course, Dom, I 100% agree with him. It comes down to James Harden, especially in the clutch. I mean, from those few shots that James Harden made on Saturday, that was prime James Harden, like H and H. Houston Harden. So if we see that again tonight, Cavs are tying the series. So if they go to game 7, then the first ECF game is going to be next Tuesday. But if the Pistons wrap it up 5, even 6, the first game is going to be on Sunday. But something I wrote down here, and this is something that I want to say. People have probably asked themselves rhetorically, seriously, I don't know, how have the Knicks been able to just bludgeon the Sixers from game 1 to game 4? And there's two words, I don't know if you've noticed, every single Knicks player used it that got interviewed by the media. Do you know what those two words were that every Knicks player used before and after every game in this series? The
What's
first one
that?
starts with a P, the second one starts with a D.
What is it?
Play desperate.
Mm.
Those are the two words they've used before and after every game. The media said, well, how are you going to go into now you're up 1-0? How are you going to go into game 2? It's 0-0, play desperate. Oh, you're up now 2-0, but OG now got hurt. You know, you guys now have to do next man up mentality. How are you going to go into game 3 and respond to that injury? It's 0-0. We trust in our guys, play desperate. Every single game, before and after, those were the two words you heard. McHale, Cat, Brunson. Those were the guys who got the most interviews, and Josh Hart a little bit. So every time they did that, they really seriously went in there playing desperate. And they acted like they were down 0-1, 0-2, 0-3 instead of being up 1-0, 2-0, 3-0. Jalen Brunson may have been the main culprit of this win, but Cat's passing and the Knicks bench depth is what really separated the Knicks and the Sixers. Dom already said it. I said it last week. Landry Shamet was my sleeper pick. He came to play when his number was called. My brother was texting me when he was on the plane coming to New York. He said, Landry Shamet's kind of a dog. I was like, yes, he is. This guy, I wanted him to start game 4. Honestly, you really couldn't have lost with either decision to play Miles McBride or Landry Shamet. Deuce McBride shut my ass up. I was shitting on this guy really for the past 2-3 days because he just wasn't playing well, and especially game 2, and even a little bit of game 3, he wasn't shooting that great. He hasn't really shot great really the whole playoffs, but I was watching him first quarter to start the game. I was like, wow, this is the Deuce McBride I was used to seeing the last couple seasons, just making his 3-point shots, being aggressive. I mean, a couple of shots, he had no airspace to shoot, still made it. I was like, this is the Deuce McBride that I'm used to watching. 25 points, a career playoff high for him. But Landry Shamet, I just had a feeling he was going to get some run, and I said it. He can shoot, and his defense is top notch, and he's got size. Landry Shamet, now more than ever, the next round, this man has to play. He has to. OG will be back. He's got a good amount of rest, a week and a half to 2 weeks, and OG will be back, ready to go. He wanted to even play Friday and Sunday. Medical staff, thank God, they're smart. They said, God, no. Let's see what happens game 3. Oh, great. We're up 3-0. You're definitely not playing Sunday. That was the perfect answer for that. So he's got even more rest. He'll be ready to go to guard Cade Cunningham. But Landry Shamet was a great pick, and Deuce McBride shut me up yesterday with a 25-point game. Dom, I'm going to let you speak a little more before I get into a little bit of the Sixers.
I am going to get the poster of Mitch on Embiid. I'm
It
gonna
was a
get it,
thing of
and I'm gonna
beauty.
get it into a beautiful frame.
Oh, it's
And
great.
just because of how much I hate Philly, and
Mhm.
just how much because I can't stand Joel Embiid, and also because Mitch Robinson has been here since the very beginning, the
Mhm.
longest tenured Nick, and it just feels good that he's finally got a moment like this under his belt, especially going after the same guy who injured him 2 years ago.
Mhm. That's right.
I'm gonna get it, and I'm gonna take a picture, and then whatever episode I get it, you'll post it to prove people that I'm not lying, because I'm
Yeah.
actually going to get it, and it's gonna look beautiful, and people are gonna come in my house and be like, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm gonna be like, a lot's wrong with me." So
Yeah. I mean, I don't care. Honestly, I'll pay you for a duplicate. I'll take one as well. I got a bunch of space in here I could put. I could put it right behind me right here. No problem. So, I mean, I'll find a place for it happily. Um, so with getting into the Sixers, oh, Dom's phone's ringing. I think that's
Yep.
Nick Nurse. Uh,
Thickness.
coming to apologize. So, just talk about the Sixers a bit here. Paul George could not play more than a quarter in the series. I think it's time to realize that the man is old. He's 36 years old. He just turned 36 May 2nd. He can't really do it anymore. So I don't know how much you can rely on him. He's a bench player at this point. Just call it how it is. That's just kind of how we saw it. Oh my God, 15-point first quarter for Paul George, and then come back and keep watching the game. Guy doesn't score since. Joel Embiid actually hurt his team playing than sitting out, i.e., game two. Game two, the Sixers look great. Yeah, I was like, this is going to be a tough game. I literally said to a bunch of people, I said it to Dom, I said it to my cousin, I said it to my brother, I said it to some other Knicks fans that me and Dom are friends with. Game two is going to be a tough game if Joel Embiid does not play. And he didn't play, and the Sixers had a lead for a hefty portion of the game, and their defense looked 10 times better. Joel Embiid can't defend. He can't go out and defend the 3-point line. You want that guy to go to the paint, go back to the three, go back to the paint, back to the three. It's just not going to happen. There's no way he can do it. He's got too many injuries. He's got a messed up ankle, messed up hip. He's got a bad knee. I mean, what else do you want to see with this guy on injuries to say, oh, you know what? Maybe he's not that great. And to be honest with you, I think he's so cooked to say that I honestly think this guy should consider retiring early because I just don't see how much you're going to get from Joel Embiid the older he gets. He's going to be 33 next year. When the season's about to end, or I think when the season ends, he's going to be 33 next year. This guy can't sustain. He's always hurt. He always has some sort of injury history. So I don't see how he can just continue to push through these injuries. So I really think he should consider like hanging it up. And so much so that he said in the post game after yesterday's game, oh, I came out of the series healthy, so at the end of the day, it's a success for me. I'll be real. I didn't really know what to say to that. I was like, dude, you're not healthy, and you just got swept. So, not following what you're saying. Very
I
confused.
think and also, they also said this morning, well, rumors and reports have shown it that Joel Embiid has been upset with the 76ers organization since they traded Jared McCain to the Thunder. And it's not even just Embiid. Apparently, it's a lot of players on the 76ers team who did not like that move. And let's say he does go. Where? And who's going to want him?
I'm good.
I mean,
No
obviously not
thanks.
us, but I'm saying just teams in general of how, like you said, knee, ankle, hip.
The
He's
Wizards.
he's done. He's
The
done to
Wizards
Wizards.
take him. Looks
He
like the
can go to the
Wizards take
Wizards.
everybody who's hurt or sucks.
Yeah.
That used to be
Anthony
good.
Davis and Joel Embiid on the same team.
That'd be hilarious. I mean,
That's
great
that'd be a
lineup on
fun to see.
paper, but not very good. What I'll say is Sixers bench is actually worse than 2024.
100%. Don't have anyone.
2024, they didn't have any depth. Their bench was a laughing stock. It's hard to imagine that 2 years later your bench actually got worse than getting better. And it's the same coach. That blew my
Yeah.
mind. I mean, Barlow, terrible. Quentin Grimes, probably the only one that's somewhat playable. He's somewhat decent off the bench. And honestly, I don't know. I just think their bench is a lot worse this year than it was 2 years ago. Maxey was getting double teamed and could not solve anything if VJ was not around. He just couldn't really do anything. Edgecombe needs to keep his trap shut. For a guy who did not play that great, honestly, he was trying to chat with Mitch Robinson every time he was at the line, and then you would turn around and look, and I don't know, VJ Edgecombe was just shooting up some shot that, I mean, he airballed the shot and then he was just getting highly contested. I mean, a few times he made a highly contested shot, but more than half the time he wasn't making it. But Edgecombe is getting a little too out of line in terms of how much he was chatting on Mitch Robinson, who was making his free throws. Thank God, it's about damn time. So they were trying to do hack a Mitch, but Mitch kind of put that to bed fairly quickly yesterday. And other than that, I'll just say Sixers announcers, they were trying to make excuses all day long, getting blown out after every game. Game 7 against the Celtics takes a lot out of you. Joel Embiid just recently got surgery. The Knicks got more calls at home than the Sixers at home. Sixers fans sold their tickets to Knicks fans. Do me a favor, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, please,
Shut up. I mean,
please.
enough with the excuses. Okay, when we were down 2-1 against the Hawks, you know what I was saying? This is ridiculous. If the Knicks lose this, Cat's going to be gone. Mike Brown may be fired. I didn't say the refs were giving them more calls. Oh, well, the playoffs started recent than not, and they weren't ready. They're tired. Oh, it's a long 82-game season. We weren't making excuses. We were saying how it is. The Knicks are not ready. They had 2 bad games that they blew, and they got to figure it out. But the Sixers over there, those idiotic analysts and reporters, are giving excuses left and right for their team.
Yep.
You got swept. Your team sucks. You got one guy who could be a cripple and be in a wheelchair. You got another one who's 36 and can only play one quarter. You got a rookie who can't keep his trap shut. You got Maxey who tries to be a leader, but he's got no help. You have no bench. And you got a Quentin Grimes guy off the bench who used to be a Knick, who we all know all he can do is shoot threes, and you got to pray to the Lord that he can make them. Otherwise, he's useless, just as much as like a Jordan Clarkson. But even Jordan Clarkson realized quick, oh shit, I better do more than just shoot threes, because then my ass is just going to be on the bench all playoffs. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. You guys stop making excuses. It's ridiculous. Everywhere you
Yeah.
turn, they got an excuse for their team.
Josh Hart saying, "I don't even think this is a sports town anymore." Oh, that made
Violation,
my
man.
day. That made my
Violation.
day for sure.
Oh
That was
my God.
awesome. I loved every second of that.
So I don't know, Dom, if you have anything else to say. I'll just have one question. And for people listening to this, you can leave your answers in the comments. Um, is there anything else, Dom, you have to say before I ask this question?
All good.
Who would you want the Knicks to play? Cleveland Cavaliers, Detroit Pistons next round. Series is 2-1 Detroit, but the Cavs could tie it up tonight, and I expect that they will and push this to 6 games. But Dom, who would you rather play in the next round?
In the next round, I would rather play the Cavs,
Mm,
and then people are gonna ask why. Meanwhile, you have James Harden, Donovan Mitchell, you have Evan Mobley, and Jared Allen. And they say, "Oh, it's like 2, like, twin towers." So do we. We have them too. We have Cat and Mitch. And then it is gonna be a way different series if we do play the Cavs, considering that James Harden has made Jared Allen and Evan Mobley way better,
mhm.
not Donovan Mitchell. The way that Harden can facilitate, I get it. But the fact that the Pistons have been playing so good this series, meanwhile, Jalen Duran really hasn't had a good postseason so far at all.
Mm-mm.
Not anything close to what he was doing during the regular season. And what happens for some reason he magically goes off against us next series? Because he did go off against us in the regular season. And the fact that Cade Cunningham's dropping 40 like it's nothing.
Well, are
So,
you're talking about Jalen Duren?
yeah.
Jalen Duren didn't really play against the Knicks. I don't even know if he played any of the games that the Knicks played against them. I think he was out for like at least 2 of them, maybe even all 3 of them. He could
No, he
be a
was.
very good, huh?
Yeah, he was out for like 2 of them.
Yeah, so he could be a very tough cover for the next series. Um, but it was really Cade Cunningham. I mean, in my opinion, you put OG on him, OG somehow shuts down Cade Cunningham. I kind of treat it as like the leader of the pack. Like if you ever watched a vampire movie and the leader of the vampires gets killed and the vampires don't know what to do, so they decide to leave the area and go and walk away and go home. That's kind of how I see the Detroit Pistons. If you shut down Cade Cunningham, I just don't think the rest of the team knows what to do. Whereas with the Knicks right now, with what Mike Brown has done with their offense, putting Cat at the top of the key, running the offensive plays, well, now it's a little different because now it's not just Jalen Brunson. It's also now Carl Anthony Towns that you got to shut the water off on. And you got OG playing as well as he's playing. And if OG's not there and on the court, Mikal Bridges is starting to actually, turn on the faucet and really look like a solidified third, fourth option, whatever the case may be. But for me, I see Detroit. Detroit's going to be aggressive, but I see Detroit as you shut down Cade Cunningham. I don't see much hope for Detroit.
I just don't have hope in Jared Allen or Mobley. I
And
know,
why
like,
is
it's
that?
just because going up against Mitch and then even
Hmm.
going up against Cat when Cat's on offense,
Hmm.
and especially with Mitch playing defense against those two, you've seen what he
Hmm.
did against them by himself, basically.
Right.
And Jalen Duran is way more physical, and Duran, he's averaged about 5 to 7 free throws, which doesn't seem like a lot, but who are those free throws are gonna be against? Who are those fouls gonna be called against? Cat or Mitch or
Hmm.
both?
Hmm.
And James Harden, I mean, yeah, he had a great game last game, but how far can he do this for? We know his history when it comes to the playoffs.
Hmm.
And he chokes in the playoffs, and you could even say the same thing about Donovan Mitchell. He'll put up his numbers. He's not that clutch either.
Right. So you're saying you'd rather play the Cleveland Cavaliers?
I'd rather play them.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. My answer is the Detroit Pistons. I just think there's going to be a serious drought if you shut off Cade Cunningham's water. So I would rather take Detroit Pistons. Yes, they are a much more physical team. It'll be a totally different series. They are going to be a lot more physical. I think it's physicality with Detroit, finesse with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Because no, they don't have anybody that can size up Mitch or Cat. They just don't have the stature. They don't have the body size. But if you told me a year ago or even 2 years ago that if you shut off Jalen Brunson's water and they could still have another person leading the offensive game plan, I would have said you were nuts. But now looking at what Mike Brown has done with Cat, what he's even done with Mikal Bridges, he was driving to the hoop. He was creating shots as well. What OG has become, Jalen Brunson is not the only guy you got to shut the water off on. So if you do it with Cade Cunningham, I mean, you're pretty close to golden in terms of the series. I'm not saying they're going to sweep them, but you could beat them in 5, 6 games, I think. And yes, you won't have home court advantage, which, okay, that could lean, maybe people would lean more towards your answer, Dom, of Cleveland, because Cleveland wins the series. Knicks now have home court advantage in the ECF. But I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens, but there is one thing that's got to get figured out, and it is still one big problem. And you just can't have it carry on to every single round because it's only going to get harder. Carl Anthony Towns has got to find a way to stay out of fucking foul trouble. I mean, why is this
Yep.
guy always in foul trouble? It ain't going to matter who the Knicks play in the next round if Carl Anthony Towns and Dom, I know I'm preaching to the choir here with you because you've been saying it after every game. I mean, the guy has got to be averaging 4 to 5 fouls a game right now, and you just can't have that, especially if they're playing Detroit. So that's where, if you want to talk about Cat's problem of foul trouble, yeah, it'd probably be easier if the Knicks played against Cleveland than it is for Detroit. But it don't matter who they play. He's got to figure it out, period. But that is
Absolutely.
one big flaw that came out from this series against the Sixers.
And also, when they played the Sixers, it wasn't just Embiid not going up and closing out on defending threes. It was the whole team,
Mhm.
right? So if we do play the Cavs, yeah, you can say, okay, Jared Allen, he's really not the quickest dude. Evan Mobley would be the one to most likely close out on a three, and he's like probably one of the more athletic dudes on the team. But
Mhm.
I mean, going up against Harden and Mitchell when they're playing defense, that's 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 like food
Mm.
for OG and Jalen. Could be even for Mikhail too. That's food. So I'll take that. And then when it comes to even the offensive power of Detroit, you say, oh, if you shut down Cade, most likely, I mean, 90%, yeah, that will win the series. But you can't forget, I hate to even say this, but Tobias Harris put up numbers against us.
I know. I
It's
knew you
like
were gonna say that too.
he put up numbers against us, and like I said, it's a make or miss league. Duncan Robinson can make some threes. I'll
That's
tell you,
true.
I'll tell you that right now.
That's true,
So
but if you contest his ass and once he starts missing, he misses a lot. I mean, he will go ice cold. It's kinda like Deuce McBride. Once Deuce McBride starts making shots, you can't shut off his water line. But once he starts missing 2 or 3 in a row, he can make a mansion out of the amount of bricks he's chucking up at the rim. So, yes, I agree with you. Listen, there's got to be other weapons beside Cade. I agree because how the hell do you get this far? How are you a first seed team? But Cade Cunningham is literally the head of the snake. Nobody else is running the offense if Cade Cunningham's not producing and performing well. But I think that's not the same case with the Knicks.
you can even say Asar Thompson, both offense and defensive side. And then Jalen Duren can play defense as well. I am more scared of those two than Evan Mobley and Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's honestly what it comes down to for me is the defensive side, not really more with the offensive side. And Jalen Brunson against a James Harden or a Donovan Mitchell, it's over. OG
Mm-hmm.
against a James Harden or a Donovan Mitchell or even Jared Allen is over. So I think they're just a better matchup in general for the Cavs than the Pistons, but you never know. And also, I'm just more scared of Jalen Duran just having a really good series against us and finally waking up.
All right. Well, a lot of people think the Knicks match better with Detroit than Cleveland. So, listen, I think both they match up well with both teams. We'll see. Um, I do believe that this Cavs Piston series, Mike Breen even said it towards the end of the Knicks game yesterday. That series is far from over. So we'll see what happens tonight. I'm very intrigued, very excited. Honestly, I don't remember the last time I've been excited to watch a different series aside from the Knicks. It's been a while, and I'm excited to watch this game tonight, 8 o'clock. Forget what network it's on, Dom. Do you know?
I will tell you
Forget.
in 2 seconds.
I think
Embassy
it's NB.
Peacock.
It is. That's what I
Yeah.
thought. Okay. All right. So Dom goes with the Cavaliers. My answer is the Pistons. Leave your comments down below. Let us know what your pick is. I will be making a community post about it probably today after this episode is over. I'll probably have it for you probably later because this game is on at 8. I want it out before the game starts. So that's it with that. I was going to make it yesterday, but Mother's Day got too busy with family, so I didn't have the time, but I'll get it done after we're done recording here. So that's everything for the NBA. We went very long, but that's not a surprise. This is the playoffs, and Knicks are going on to the Eastern Conference Finals for the second straight season in a row. So nobody should really be surprised on how long this went. But now we're going to move on to the MLB. Dom, you're going to go first. The Yankees got swept. Kind of surprised, but you're not surprised about Carlos Rodon whatsoever.
What did I say? I've said this since the summer. I've said this since the summer. I've said this since after the season of last year ended. I said, you know what? He's had a great year last year. He'll never do it again. And it's going to be the start of the downfall for the pitching staff. They were better without him, and they will be for the whole rest of the year. Because now what? Will Warren isn't going to pitch as much anymore. What's going to happen with Schlittler? Is he still going to be the second guy, or even when Cole gets back and Rodon is
Mhm.
officially in the lineup? Where's he going to be in all this? There's going to be some bullpen games. right? So I try to tell you, he did not pitch good. And then people are saying, oh, he pitched 97. He still got rocked. It doesn't matter that he threw harder than usual. All right. It did not matter one bit. So I'm just going to say I told you so and push that to the side for now because there is a little bit more important things to say. Spencer Jones gets called up. I didn't make a post about it. I completely forgot. I was just so excited. And I was so excited to actually watch him play. And what happened? He struck out most of the time. Most of the time he struck out, and that's okay because he had his whole minor league career a high strikeout rate. But one of the the two main reasons why that he got called up is because of the Jason Dominguez injury, running into a fence. And then number two, his strikeout rate went down a little bit. Just a little bit. Nothing out of the ordinary, right? But if you can give Anthony Volpe all the time in the world, you can give Spencer Jones all the time in the world. And I'll say it again, if we didn't give Aaron Judge all the time in the world back then for that whole half a year, then God only knows what would have happened. Give him some time.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You got to be patient. And I don't know, would you rather have Spencer Jones in the field over Jason Dominguez? You haven't really seen much of him in the field yet, but even with the bat, even Jason Dominguez had an inconsistent bat. And then coming up, if you saw the graphic on MLB Network, Spencer Jones had identical numbers to Aaron Judge coming up. Identical. Give this man some time. Let him work on his swing and his mechanics, and then he'll be okay. Aaron Judge had to fix his mechanics a lot in order for him to be the player that he is.
I mean,
So,
this kind of relates, Dom, to how I was saying Carson Benz shouldn't be sent down. Carson Benz is now starting to figure it out bit by bit. He's hitting a lot better, striking out a little less. We're gonna say the same thing. And I mentioned Spencer Jones on a reel. I mentioned George Lombard Jr. You got to let these guys play. Just
let
like
him
Dom
play.
is saying, you got to let these guys play. Sending them down, yeah, you could be the greatest AAA player, minor league baseball has ever seen. That's not the end goal. The ultimate goal is to be a great, successful baseball player in the major leagues. You got to let these guys play, and you got to let them figure it out on their own. Otherwise, you'll never know what you're going to get out of these minor leaguers if you don't just let them play consistently day in and day out.
Yep. And also, it does suck because usually, as if you notice as a Yankee fan, that's it, when it comes to June, that's when it gets bad for the Yankees. The whole month of June is terrible, and then they look very bad going into the All-Star break. And then it takes them till about August to get better, and then they'll be better for the whole month of August, and then beginning of September, they start to get bad again. And then you're like, oh, what the fuck? What the hell is this team going to do? And I'm sure that's the same thing that's going to happen because it's too inconsistent with the pitching and also the hitting in this series. Want to hear the quote of the week from Aaron Boone?
Go ahead.
Aaron Boone says he's not concerned that the Yankees are 1-8 against teams with a winning record this year. He said, "We're really good. Like, we had a bad series." What are your thoughts on that, Chris?
I mean, me personally, it just sounds like he's going through the motions of a press conference. I mean, I don't. I mean, if you're 1-8 against real good teams, here we go again. It's kind of like what we were saying about the Knicks in the NBA. Your backs aren't so much against the wall in the regular season because if you're playing a good team and you lose, well, then a game or two later, you're playing a crappy team like the Brooklyn Nets. And okay, all is somewhat forgiven because you won a game and you flush it. I mean, but if you're 0-8 against, you know, high percentage teams that win all the time, shit. I mean, I don't know how good you are. I mean, yeah, you're good at beating the bad teams. That's nice. You're taking care of business, but you got to show something against good teams. In 9 games, you have 1 win against a team over 500. That's not great. I mean, the Rays are now in first place. So I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really see that happening.
You wanna hear something even crazier? I'm gonna defend Aaron Boone right now,
That's
and I'll tell
crazy.
you why.
You're an idiot.
For that comment, because we are not that good, right? Honestly, I don't think that we're amazing as people are looking at it, and also the record. It's just too much inconsistency like it is every year with the Yankees, right? This is nothing new. But at the end of the day, when now everyone's talking about this win-loss record against teams that are over 500 and then under 500, right? 1-8 against teams that are over, and then 25-7 against teams that are under. Two things. One, it's only May. If this is happening after the All-Star break, then it's a big problem, and then I'll take back everything I said. And
Mhm.
number two, Chris, I'm sure you can agree with me on this. The AL is horrible.
I mean, yeah, I've only said it.
The AL is god awful.
Oh, yeah, not good at all.
And we have obviously mostly played against AL teams.
Mhm,
And we crushed the Seattle when we played them. We swept um the Royals, right? So like we're getting to these good teams in the AL, but when it comes to the NL, we're getting cooked.
mhm.
So and the NL, they are stacked.
Yeah,
Absolutely stacked.
yeah.
And not a big surprise, right? I mean, we said it. We said it before the season even started. So that's the reason why I am defending Aaron Boone for the first time in my life. But I would not be bugging out over these numbers right now because it's too small of a sample size. And I'll say it again, the AL East is awful.
Mhm,
But now Carlos Rodon's back. I don't like it one bit. And I like I said this whole year, I will not have faith in him at all until the season's over, I guess, really.
mhm. Interesting. Yeah, honestly, I think the Yankees will be fine. Their pitching rotation, I think, will sustain with Schlittler. I mean, when Garrett Cole comes back, we'll see what happens with that. Max Fried, you know, uh, Will Warren has looked pretty good. He's looked solid. So I think Ryan Weathers, I'm not banking on that guy for a second. It's like
No,
banking on, David Peterson or something like that. That's just
on
not
Dynamite.
smart. But I think the Yankees rotation will be fine. But the test is going to be next month, and I agree with you. Let's see how they do in June, July near the All-Star break. Of course, the dog days of August is always a big test in baseball. But I think the Yankees are going to be okay. Aaron Boone's comments in a press conference is always just sugar-coated bullshit. You know, say whatever I have to say in order to get away from the media and just move on. But I honestly think with that league that they're in, the American League, I think they'll be okay because we said it 2024 when they had their playoff run to the World Series. We said it last year. We said it before this season. Yeah, the American League is not good. It's just
Nope.
it's got a mishmash of bad talent. And yeah, the more they play the National League, the more the Yankees realize, wow, our league fucking sucks. And so, yeah, they're going to keep playing high profile teams and let's see how they do. Anything else you have to say regarding the Yankees?
And then also the bullpen really hasn't been playing that great either. And
Mm,
especially Camilo Duvall. Now
yeah.
he's looked very bad.
What is
Um,
his ERA now?
his
I
ERA,
think it's over 4.
that seems about right. I mean,
I think it is.
not good at all. I'll
No,
tell you
it's
that
not
much.
because
I'll say,
I was watching him pitch a couple of times recently, and it he was erratic. He didn't have command of much, to be honest with you.
I'll
Let me
tell you
just
right
see
now.
here. Yeah. Oh my lord, it's a 6.14.
Yep, there you go.
Wow.
6.14.
I was giving him the benefit of the doubt over 4. Jeez,
And
that's bad.
wasn't he in the All-Star game not too long ago?
Yeah. He was. I honestly thought last year, no?
Was it last year?
I'm gonna look. I'm pretty sure it was. Maybe I'm wrong. No, 2023.
2023.
But
Um,
he still had a
he's
solid he was pitching solid. He was pitching real well with the Giants last year before the trade deadline.
yeah,
So,
it's a big shock to everyone. We
mm,
thought that we had 2 closers. I mean, Bednar has been doing good, but I mean, I'm still worried that we're gonna overuse him,
for
and we're
sure.
we're still using him a shit ton. But we were expecting 2 very good closers in the league, and now we have 1 good one, not a great one good one, and 1 terrible one.
Mm,
I don't
that's
know where the
tough.
hell that came from.
I don't know.
N No one was expecting this at all, I'll tell you that
No,
much.
no.
But and also, yeah, I'll say it again with Spencer Jones, give him time, and hopefully I hope that he stays up for the rest of the year. Not I don't know how that's gonna be when Jason Dominguez comes back or Giancarlo Stanton comes back. Honestly, the Yankees have surprised me every day this year
I
when it
do have
comes
one
to
question.
their front office moves and when it comes to their players being called up or being sent down or option.
Mm.
So I literally have no idea what's gonna happen, but I hope he stays for the rest of the year.
So I do have one question for you. What is it going to take for George Lombard Jr. to get called up?
Another injury, seems like.
That was my assumption, but I wanted to see what your answer was.
Um, Ryan McMahon, he can field, but I mean, he's had a few errors this year already, which is
Mhm,
really unlike him at all. Um, Jazz, I mean, he's still not playing that great. We don't want him to be hurt clearly, but if he gets hurt or Ryan McMahon gets hurt, then he's going to be called up,
mhm,
or even a Ahmed Rosario or Jose Caballero, one of them, because he
mm,
could play short, second. If they need him at third, I'm sure he'll play third as well. But that's probably the least likely out of the three. Obviously, he'll be mostly shortstop. Second option would be second, and third
mhm,
would be third.
mhm.
But
Right,
and
but
also he just got promoted to Triple A not so long ago. So I don't
right.
know how long they're gonna want him to be down there for.
I'm
And
gonna be
then
honest with you. I don't think that part matters. Like, yes, you want him to get reps in AAA, but Dom, honestly, AAA, there's so many guys nowadays that don't play much in AAA, like a Carson Bench, and they just say, you know what, it will give you the opportunity. Now, of course, the Yankees are becoming a hard organization to force their hand in terms of calling up minor leaguers, but he's gotten some reps. He'd probably get more, most likely, but I think he'd be a good call up, and I think he'd do well with the major league club, especially against this shitty American league. So put it that way. So
no, I agree. You know,
yeah.
great fielder, and
Hmm.
his hitting is getting better and better. But I mean, the one thing that really caught all of our attention is the fielding, especially
Hmm.
of how what we've seen with Anthony Volpe,
I was gonna
right?
say,
So
I think Anthony Volpe should be taking some notes on. Well, I mean, he's down there with him, right? So think they should take notes together, and I think George Lombard Jr. should be tutoring Anthony Volpe on how to defend.
absolutely.
So
But I mean, they put they put Spencer Jones down in Double A for a while, and even same with Triple A. Not
mhm,
nearly as much, but he
yeah,
played a good amount of games there.
yeah,
So we'll see.
okay. All right, fair enough. So now regarding the Mets, I'm just gonna keep this short. Not really much to say. I mean, the team is fucking terrible. 40 games into the season, the Mets are 15 and 25. 25% of the season now has come and gone. The exact percentage is 24.6, so that's essentially 25. It's time to call up minor leaguers. I've seen enough. This team is not a winning team this season. No chance of saving this sinking ship. There should be a ton of players on the trading block real soon. I'm talking about Freddie Peralta, David Peterson. I would even honestly pick up the phone to see what you would get for Bo Bichette. I know he's getting paid a lot of money, The guy's inevitably going to opt in next year because who wouldn't? You're making $42 million. Clay Holmes will be opting out if he keeps pitching like this. He had another solid outing against the Diamondbacks this past weekend. But there should be an absolute fire sale, and not waiting until July 31st. I think by the end of June, beginning of July, they should start calling teams and seeing what they can get. Mark Vientos, kind of like a Jazz Chisholm situation, play well so that we can trade you. And the Mets should really be calling all 29 teams to see what they can get. And the Mets are cooked. I mean, in 2024, we kind of already we were told before that season started that this is a rebuilding year. Don't expect much. We'll be competitive, but don't look at playoffs, too closely. I mean, right now this team doesn't have will. They look like they don't gel together. They're not dying to play baseball. There's just a lot of just again, go back to what I've said the last few weeks, island of misfit toys. They just look like they're not a cohesive team. They're not a unit. They don't play for each other, kind of like how the Knicks are doing right now. The Knicks play for each other. So I think they should have a fire sale, and I think David Stern should also be part of that fire sale too, because that guy really hasn't shown me much of anything, and his scheme, game plan, whatever you want to call it. Go ahead.
I'm so sorry to cut you off on your Mets thing, but I didn't see this at all actually. Jose Caballero is out of the Yankees lineup as he deals with the issue with his right middle finger. He hurt it diving back into the bag yesterday. He will undergo an MRI. He said he does not believe it's fractured.
Hmm,
And Caballero will head back to New York after the game tonight to see Dr. Ahmad, a hand specialist, tomorrow morning. Yankees should know more after that.
interesting.
So continue. I apologize to cut you off.
No,
But
it's
yeah,
okay.
now that things are interesting. But I'll talk
Mhm.
about that in the wrap up.
Okay. I do want to say one thing. OG Anunoby is expected to play game one, regardless if the Cavs push it to 7 games or not. So I just want to put that out there. A little bit of a side note right there. Um,
I don't think anyone's mad at that.
yeah. So just want to put that out there. But going back to the Mets, not really much else to say. Team is not good. They should really be starting real soon to look at selling off players. I know you could say, "Oh, it's only May 11th," but you really can't tell me that this team looks like a winning culture team. Not happening. Also, I read that Pete Alonso essentially told David Stearns 2 winters ago, uh, to go fuck himself. Let's just put it that way. Basically said, "Hey, I'm gonna be a Hall of Famer while you're fiddling with your little nerdy fucking analytics book." And I just thought that was hilarious. And right now, crazy what people thought the Mets were going to be from getting Paul Skeens out of the first inning on opening day to now what we're seeing on May 11th, 40 games into the season. It's upsetting. It's tough to watch. As I already told you, the rant that I did 2 weeks ago, I'm not doing it again. That's done. This team is not a winning team. It would be historic once again if they all of a sudden turned it around. Is it possible? Yeah, anything's possible in sports. That's why we watch, but I just don't see it happening, frankly. I know they rumored that, oh, they're going to look to get a big bat. Why would you do that to the poor guy? I mean, just don't bring him here. You're just gonna make his life miserable. I mean, right now this team just doesn't look like a cohesive unit. Even Juan Soto's not playing great recently. Everyone goes through slumps, don't doubt it, but he doesn't even look like he's enjoying a good time. So I don't know. Mets need to figure out what they got to do, especially front office wise, for the remainder of this season, and at least for the next couple months, and call up minor leaguers, try to get good prospects, build your farm system. And I said it during that rant. You could try to keep on signing guys in free agency. Steve Cohen constantly taking out his checkbook to write out checks for David Stearns and the free agents. But at the end of the day, try to build your farm system as best as you can, call up guys, and try to use the farm system as your next go-to answer to try to build a serious World Series contender. Because I just don't see it here.
Well, 2 things. First, I'm gonna ask though, you said, it's time to bring up the minor leaguers, but then
Mhm,
also you said fire sale. Are any of those 2 actually realistic, or do you I know that's what you want, but do you
mhm.
think that it's actually a possibility that they'll do that?
Well, fire sale for sure. It's possible if they keep on going on this route. If they keep on losing series and they just keep on falling down in the standings, wild card division. I mean, division they're cooked. There's no shot of that. But the wild card, if they keep on just staying where they are or get even lower, absolutely, I could see that because I can tell you David Stearns doesn't want to lose his job, and I think Kit Cohen's like, well, jackass, your team's not winning with the roster that you constructed. At least do me a favor and keep building the farm system. In terms of calling up guys, that's something where that is a little bit unrealistic because yeah, AJ Ewing, just like George Lombard, just got called up to AAA. You want to see how he plays. You have Ryan Clifford. He's been hitting, but he's still striking out a little too much than hitting the baseball. Jacob Reimer in AA hasn't done that great this season. If he does better, then yeah, maybe he'll get called up to AAA. But I'm talking about AJ Ewing, Ryan Clifford, Jonah Tong, those guys. Jake Jack or Jake Jack, whatever, Wenninger. Jonathan Santucci hasn't pitched great in the minor leagues this year, which is a real shame. I thought he would climb the ranks this season. Clearly, that hasn't happened yet. Still a long season to go. Could always happen, but you're talking about, four guys that could get called up, but you got to see what you have in the farm system because what you got right now on the field and it just bottom line is Dom, they got to pick at least one of the two, if not both, because what you got right now looks like dog shit. So you got to do something. Otherwise, yeah, you're screaming, fire me if you're David Stearns. So you got to do something. They both can't seem unrealistic, Dom. They can't be. One
No.
of them's got to be realistic. So pick one. Figure it the fuck out. Do
Yeah,
something.
I asked that because I don't know the front office as well as you do. But,
Mhm.
and the second thing, I hope you weren't one of those Met fans that fell for that Paul Skeens opening day because it was
No,
all O'Neal Cruz's fault.
no.
It was
Well,
not
listen,
Paul
it
Skeens'
was
fault.
well, it was O'Neal Cruz's fault, but it's not like they weren't making any contact, and it was just straight pop ups. I mean, Brett Beatty hit a freaking laser that, yeah, if he had tracked it, he would have caught it, but that's not my problem. And also, too, like, okay, Lindor, he either got a hit or walked. I don't remember. So he worked the count. Juan Soto got a hit that got Lindor to third. They were working the counts. Luis Robert Jr. wasn't swinging at everything. So they were at least, it's not like Paul Skeens was throwing it in, the third row or he hit guys. They were working counts. They were making them pitch a lot, and they had solid contact on some pitches. So they were at least doing their job as a baseball team. Yes, O'Neal Cruz mismanaging or misplaying a ball in the outfield. Yes, that very much helped the Mets in that first inning. But
2 of them.
we also knew that Paul Skeens was gonna go back to his usual self after that. I'm not saying that was gonna be, the downfall of Paul Skeens. Definitely not. But Dom, it's not so much Paul Skeens of what he did. It's just that you look at that lineup and you looked at opening day and you were like, wow, what this lineup could be. And now fast forward to May 11th and you're like, wow, this team sucks. It's sad, but it's where we're at.
Yeah,
So
I agree with everything you said. I'm just checking. I'm just
I
checking my
understand.
boy, I'm
I
checking on you,
understand.
bro. That's it.
Yeah, I know. No, Mets fans, we're doing terrible. Thank you for checking in.
I'm just
You
checking.
only waited until May 11th, but it is what it is. We're just gonna have to deal with it. But I'm done on the Mets. Dom, how about you with the Yankees before I move on?
Well, now it's gonna be interesting now with Caballero hurt.
Yes.
Now, is Rosario gonna be playing short?
George
Is
Lombard Jr.?
Lombard Jr.? Is Volpe?
No.
Is Volpe? You know
I don't
what?
want Volpanella anywhere near the field.
Why the fuck would I want that?
I don't know.
Obviously not. But now there's options, and also there's someone that everyone has forgot about, Oswaldo Cabrera.
Mhm.
He's been doing pretty good down there,
Yeah, that's true.
and he could play anywhere.
Mhm.
He could play second, he could play short, he could play third. He's even when he first got up here, he was playing the outfield and robbing home runs and throwing people out in the outfield, which obviously he's not going to play the outfield, but I'm just saying that he could play anywhere. So, let's see. Let's see what happens, and let's see if Caballero might have to go on the IL, maybe not. Maybe he's just out for a few days.
Mhm.
Or maybe even McMahon goes to short or something. That's the thing. I have no idea how this can turn out.
Mhm.
What do I want? What do you think? If you have a brain, I want George Lombard to be up here. But it's the New York Yankees, so we'll be guessing till the end of time until a decision has come.
We'll see what Aaron Boone puts together. We'll see what Brian Cashman decides to do in the front office, but it'll be intriguing to watch and see how they plug in the spot of Caballero. But more conversation on that for the next episode going forward. So that's everything for the MLB. Now we're going to go to the NFL. Dom, you can go first. Not really much to say regarding the Giants. I have a couple of things to say with the Jets, but again, somewhat of a short segment. But Dom, you can go first with the Giants.
Adam Schefter, 10 hours ago. First
Mhm.
Sunday night game of the season, September 13th, Cowboys at Giants.
Hmm.
On NBC, Sunday, 8:20. That's the first game. I always love playing against the Cowboys, but at the same time, man, I wish we played the Eagles instead,
Yeah.
especially after what just happened.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I
That's
wish, I wish that was the case, but it's all good. Honestly, I'm glad that we'll be home
mm-hmm.
because I can actually go to this game and not be in 7 jackets and a blanket and earmuffs or whatever the fuck you wear at a cold game.
Mm-hmm.
I can actually go in like shorts or something and a hoodie.
Okay.
So perfect to me. And you bet your ass I'll be there, no matter what. But I guess a very really really early preview for this game. The Cowboys increased their defense a good amount. They got better. They
Mm-hmm.
definitely got better on the defensive side of the ball. Obviously, now you have a full year of Quinnen Williams, and also you add Caleb Downs to the mix, and then a bunch of other players that they added that are upgrades. So it's not just going to be a easy cakewalk for the upgraded New York Giants offense when you have now Isaiah Likely, Pat Ricard, the fullback. Hopefully, Cam Scatterbu will be back. CC Mawanoa on the O line. Jermaine Illuminor extended. Andrew Thomas hopefully is healthy for some odd reason. He might not be. So you never know. So it's not going to be just a cakewalk. And obviously, it's a divisional rival. And for some reason, we always lose to the Cowboys. Only if the only time we beat them is if we have to lose on purpose so we can get the number 1 pick, aka last year, and then we destroy them and get
Mm-hmm.
the 5th pick instead. But clearly now you know what happened. Now we got Arvell Reese in the 5th pick. So I guess things happen for a reason. Thank God. But man, I was pissed off that day when they beat them in the last game of the season. But this is gonna be cool. This is gonna be cool. The first game of John Harbaugh era against the
Mm-hmm.
divisional rival in the Cowboys. And, it's a high powered offense with CD Lamb and George Pickens. I mean, God only knows what George Pickens is going to do with his franchise tag and if he's going to hold out, maybe not. We don't know. And I hate to admit it because I don't like the guy, but Dak Prescott, he's not that terrible of a quarterback and he cooks us all the time. So it's going to be a good week 1 Sunday night matchup for sure.
He's a good regular season quarterback. But when it
He's a
comes
good
to
he's a good quarterback against the New York Giants. That's what it
mm,
is.
okay. So not so much the regular season, just the Giants.
I
2
only care
games a
about
year, 2
that's
games
it.
a season.
That's all I give a fuck about is him against the Giants.
That's funny. Okay, well, that's the Giants. For the Jets, just a couple of things. David Bailey, D'Angelo Pons, Omar Cooper Jr., they look strong and athletic at rookie minicamp, but like Dom would say, I don't want to watch the tape of training camp. I don't care what the video shows. Not going to fall for that trap. So same thing here. Not going to fall for any of those clips of rookie mini camps. Literally nothing to me, but it
Nope.
was nice to see a little bit of football and see those guys have some sort of action on the field. That was nice. But the most important thing, of course, the elephant in the room, Breece Hall signed his 3-year, $45.75 million contract with 29 million of it guaranteed. This is exactly what me and Dom expected. We thought he was going to get a little more than Kenneth Walker got with the Kansas City Chiefs. Listen, for people who are wondering why the hell did he get more, Kenneth Walker is not a wideout. The man can't catch. I've watched it. He's dropped a lot of passes. Dropped a few from Sam Darnold. I think he even dropped one or two from Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl. Breece Hall is a wideout as well.
Mhm.
Okay, this is why he got a little more. Am I saying he should get as much as what Christian McCaffrey's getting or what Christian McCaffrey was getting in his prime? No, but Breece Hall can do more than just run the football. I've seen him make tremendous catches as a running back. So this is the money that he deserved to get. Listen, both sides needed each other. Okay, Breece Hall wasn't going to get this money from anywhere else, and the Jets' running back room outside of Breece Hall is terrible. You're talking about Braylon Allen is the second option, and the man didn't play for practically the whole season, and he's got to recover from his injury.
Yep.
So really all you got is Breece Hall, and then whoever you got after Braylon Allen. So not a very deep running back room. They needed him. He needed them. It is what it is. But I'm very glad it got done very early, way before even mandatory minicamp, because this should not have carried into that, and let alone carried into the training camp saga and the preseason. Didn't need that crap. So very happy it got done. Breece Hall's happy about it. Now, Breece Hall, keep your trap shut. Don't be saying some negative shit about the Jets like Don was saying last week. And, show me something now with the money that you're getting paid. And I'm expecting somewhat of a good season. I know you don't have a serious quarterback. That won't come probably until next year in the 2027 draft. But, you know, you're a running back. So if passing isn't there from Geno Smith, you got a good offensive line. Show me something. And be a screen pass option for Geno Smith. Be a solidified wideout. I know now, obviously, the Jets picked up Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper Jr. in the draft. They're automatic starters, no question. But Breece Hall, you got to show me what you were showing me in 2022, your rookie year, and even in 2024. So, it's time to go now. But I was very happy that the contract got done. $29 million guaranteed. That's fine with me. It was always going to be more than half, and I'm not surprised by that. But very happy it got done. And other than that, that's really it. I don't see the Jets getting really any primetime games. The Giants deserve them. With John Harbaugh now as the head coach, them doing so great in the draft. Malik Neighbors will be back. Um, Cam Scatterbo will be back. Jackson Dart is their quarterback. Even their defense has gotten better. Defensive line is strong. So the Giants deserve to get, a primetime game on week one. But Jets really aren't going to get any. They'll probably get what, max two? That's about it. So we'll see how it goes. Much more down the line. It's only May 11th. So as we get closer to the month of July with, training camp and then even before that, mandatory mini camp. But that's really all I have to say about the Jets. Dom, how are you with the Giants?
Yeah, Giants are all good, but even I'll talk about your Jets for a second. Do we think Cat is the best player on the floor for the Knicks? No, I'm sure we would all say Jalen Brunson, but we've been saying all year that, Cat is gonna take us as far as we need him to go. He'll take us to the Eastern Conference or the finals or whatever. And it seems like the same thing for the Jets, even though maybe you'll probably say Garrett Wilson, right, is probably the best player on your
Mhm.
offense. But the offense is gonna be run through Breece Hall
Right.
because he's gonna have to help out Geno a shit ton. Because I don't think any Jet fan believes in Geno.
No, no. I
So
agree with that for sure. And I think that's true. That's another big reason why he got the money he got. Yeah, because the offense does have to run through Breece Hall, and they want to ground and pound. And I don't know what Frank Reich is going to put together, but he has said numerous occasions that Breece Hall is a very, very important piece of their offense, and especially with what he's putting together. What is that going to be? Obviously, I don't know. It's only May 11th, but time will tell on that one. So, yes, for sure, it's going to run through Breece Hall without a doubt. All right. Well,
there you
that's
go.
everything for. You have anything else to say, Dom, before I continue?
Now we good.
All right. So that's it with the NFL. We're going to do take a seat. Let's predict. Honestly, can't really do it for the Knicks, clearly, because Pistons Cavs series isn't over. But just one question I have, Dom. If they played the Cavs, how many games would the Knicks, in how many games would the Knicks win that series? And then the same question goes if they play the Pistons.
I would say 5 against the Cavs, and I'd say against the Pistons, I don't know, I'm going in between 6 or 7. My gut is leaning towards more 7.
Mhm. Yeah, I honestly think the Cavs. If it's the Cavs, I think it goes. I'm gonna say 6. The Pistons. I don't know why. I just feel like if they shut down Cade Cunningham, it's gonna be a short series. I don't know. I know they have other talent, but if OG comes to play on defense and he's geared up, they fully expect him ready to go because the man was trying to play on Friday and Sunday, and medics were like, no. And then they won on Friday, and then the medics were like, absolutely not. Stay back in New York or stay in the hotel room wherever he was. I don't even know if he was on the bench. Uh, if it's the Pistons and they could shut down Cade, I say that's done in 5 games, and I think the Cavs go 6. So that's my answer for that. All right. So the Yankees, they are at Orioles for 3 games, and then of course they're at Mets for 3 games. Dom, what do you got on that?
For the Orioles, I mean, the Orioles have been getting a little better. They've
Mhm.
been getting a little hot. Pete is waking up a bit, but I will still say that we beat them. That'll be 2-1. We'll beat we'll beat them. We won't win. We won't sweep them, but 2-1 Yankees and Orioles. I hate to break it to you. I think we're gonna sweep you guys. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
Hmm. I agree.
I'm gonna say
1000%.
5-1, 5-1 on the week.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. So I'm just looking at the Mets against the Tigers, which honestly is not a good matchup for the Mets at all. I mean, you got Jack Flaherty, who hasn't pitched well this year. He's over a 5 ERA against Freddie Peralta. That could be a win, but then again, it's the Mets we're talking about. Then they're playing Framber Valdez, who just can't seem to get out of his own way in terms of getting in trouble. So he supposedly purposely hit a batter the other day. This guy's got to go to. He's got to go
Somewhat.
see. He's got to go to a clinic. He's got to go see a therapist. I mean, this
Yes, he
guy's got
does.
to just calm the hell down. Take some CBD, dude. I mean, do something. Then it's Nolan McLean. So I'm gonna say the Mets go 2-1 against the Tigers, but I agree with you, Dom. Mets are getting swept. I'm going to the game on Saturday. It's gonna be tough to watch as a Mets fan. I'm gonna say, what is that then? Let me just do math here. They're gonna go 2-4 on the week. I'm not even going to look at what the pitching matchups are. Nolan McLean's he's pitching on Thursday, so he won't be pitching against the Yankees. Clay Holmes will be pitching. Freddie Peralta's not pitching against the Yankees, or maybe he'll pitch the last game of the series. What he pitches tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. He'll pitch on Sunday, but doesn't matter. I think the Mets go 2-4. They get swept by the Yankees. So Dom goes 5-1 for the Yanks. I go 2-4 with 2-4 for the Mets. Now episode wrap up. Dom, anything else you got to say before I wrap up today's episode?
Um, I'm I can't believe I was talking about injuries for the Yankees, and then you see what happens when I don't check my phone for a little bit, then someone
Yeah,
gets hurt.
yeah.
So I'm excited for these. I mean, I'm hate to see Caballero getting hurt. I'll say that first, but now this is really going to be an interesting week for the Yankees and the roster moves that they're going to make. So let's see what happens there. Roger Goodell, you fucked up on the schedule. You should have put Giants versus Philly.
Mm,
Um, you fucked up big time, but it's okay. As long as we get a primetime game in the first week, that's pretty cool. Um, and the Knicks, I mean, we're having this debate all episode about who would we rather play, and it's just me on against matchups, and also me just not trusting Donovan Mitchell and James Harden in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think that they both choke, and I think they'll do the same thing. So that's
mm.
why I'm gonna go that route. And then another thing, happy early birthday, Chris. Your birthday is on Thursday. Your
Thank
birthday
you.
is on Thursday. I love you, bro. We've been friends for a while now, right? Since fucking 17 years old. It feels like yesterday. And we
Mhm.
had this idea of the podcast since 2020, and just because of our schedules, it never went through. And then I get a random call from you saying, "I think it's time, let's do it." And honestly, I'm so glad that you made that decision and you made that call, because God only knows if I would have made that phone call to you. And this has been fun. I mean, I don't know about you, but this has been
Oh, yeah.
very fun podcast. Obviously, every week. I look forward to it, and you know, I feel like all of our talking that we've done on Facetime and phone calls over the years would have went to waste if we didn't do this. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, for sure.
happy early birthday.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. I'll be 27 on Thursday. Can't even believe it. Still sometimes feel like I'm 18 back in college with some of the shit that I say and some of the stuff that me and Dom do when we go out. It's wild. But again, appreciate you. Love you too, buddy. It's been this August will be 8 years. No, 9, actually. Sorry, 9
Nice.
since I've known Dom. I met Dom when we were moving in at UT, University of Tampa, that is, not University of Texas. People go, "Oh, horns up." I'm like, "Yeah, horns down. Don't go there." But, I go to Tampa, not Texas, but University of Tampa, I was moving, and we were staying at the same hotel in downtown Tampa. It was me, Dom, and this other kid, Cole, nicest kid in the world. He was in ROTC. Think he's in the military now, serving our good country. So respect to him. Shout out to Cole wherever he is, if he ever even listens to this podcast, who knows? But nicest kid in the world. It was us three in a hotel, and we were moving in, and that was almost now 9 years ago, which I can't even believe. I was 18. Dom was 3 weeks away from being 17. He was 17, 3 weeks away from being 18, excuse me. And so this August will be 9 years. But yeah, we said for a long time we'd do this podcast. It's only the beginning. It hasn't even been a year yet. It'll be a year at the end of June. I'm not gonna lie, with how much we do this, how much work we put in, it's already felt like over a year, and it isn't yet, which is just blows my mind. But again, a lot more to come. We're going to be getting new software at the end of June. Me and Dom are probably going to be sitting down within the next month to coordinate that and figure that out. And we'll obviously, once we get the software, newest software up and running, we'll have guests and all that. But everything takes time, and it's always been fun. It'll continue to be fun. And after work every Monday, I go, thank God I'm getting on the in front of the camera and voicing either my frustration or my happiness, which whatever team I'm going to be discussing. Obviously, frustration is the Mets, happiness is the Knicks, and just inevitable depression is the Jets. That's kind of where it's at right now. But appreciate the shout out for the birthday, Dom. I'm not even going to lie. I wasn't even thinking about my own birthday. That's how much, I dread turning 27 and getting older every year, but it is what it is. Appreciate the shout out. But for my wrap up for the sports side of things, the Mets just start the fire sale sooner than later. Start looking at guys that you can trade for reasonable, considerable value that you can get back. The Jets, very happy that they got Breece Hall contract done. That's another step towards competence. Congratulations on that. That's huge for them. We'll see what the season is. I'm glad they're not really on any primetime games, just like last year. They don't deserve it. The Giants do a lot more than the Jets. So honestly, a fair offseason. Didn't do great in free agency, but they did franchise tag Breece Hall. Then they got the contract done, and they did do well in the first couple rounds of the draft. So that's great. And the Knicks, two things I have to say, actually, three things I have to say. One, figure out how to get Cat away from foul trouble. Number two, you can only control what you can control. The Knicks are off for a certain amount of days. Not their fault. They just played so well that, frankly, I don't really care who they play. If they keep playing like this, they'll beat anybody. I don't even care if it's the Oklahoma City Thunder, because the Knicks have just like a totally different team. And what Mike Brown has done with Cat is so huge. And if they keep going on this run, it's going to go down as the most historic change that any Knicks coach has ever done. But the biggest thing that I want to say, and the third and last thing on the Knicks, you have all these days off. Please, not just the coaching staff, but the players, watch film on both teams. You have all this time, all this free time now. Watch how the Pistons play. Watch how the Cavs play. You have no excuse. You have all these
Nope.
days off. Watch film. See how you're going to attack. Picture Cat being at the top of the key running the offense. Picture having Mitch in there with Cat on the bench, having JB in there, now OG coming back. Mix and match everything, because you got all these days off, and you know that the earliest you got is May 17th, and that's a week. You may even have May 19th. We'll see how this game goes tonight between Cavs and Pistons at 8 o'clock. This episode won't be out until tomorrow, so no excuse that you're not ready. You should be ready. You have all these days off. But that's everything for me. That's the last thing I'll say. Dom, how are you? Are you good to go?
Yeah, we good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for us today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning into today's episode of the FTB podcast on either YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Be sure to like this episode and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss any of our shows. See you folks on Tuesday. Peace.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it.